just a science project.
You know, a doctor friend once said the same thing to me. Frankenstein was his name. Wes, do you think you're going to get a good grade?
I always get an A.
So did Dr. Frankenstein.
Hello and good evening and welcome back. Star Trek The Next Generation Season 3 Episode 1 Evolution is over, and it has been since September of 1989, but we're just getting started here in September of 2025 as we continue our mission to watch every episode of Star Trek The Next Generation and talk all about it. We've been on hiatus for 10 weeks as we've been covering Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And it's been an eventful 10 weeks, I would say, in the Live Long and Podcast world. But we're glad to be back talking about Star Trek The Next Generation. Glad to have our friend Sam back in the live comments as we are streaming here live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and you can also be listening to us on audio version. This was not the first episode of Season 3 that was filmed. Okay, good to know, good to know. But let's get into this episode. I'm Dave Mader. And I'll be your host for tonight. And we are talking about evolution, as mentioned. A stellar explosion looms. Nanites take over the ship. And Wesley's science fair project might just be the dawn of a new civilization. We got a great panel here to break down this all tonight. Coming in first, he's our technologist who's not impressed by gamma bursts or grandstanding scientists. If it's evolving too fast, he's already skeptical. It's Jody Simpson.
I got two thumbs, and I'm ready for Bob Kelso.
All right. Well, it's all about the Scrubs reference. Coming in here next, the chief engineer of Live Long and Podcast and the showrunner of Trivial Debates. He's always scanning for precision to see whether the tech holds up. It's Chris Worldmind Murphy.
Here to do the evolution, baby.
Let's talk evolution. It's an Evo. And joining us for the first time ever, from Kevin Smith ball hockey to the Bridge of the Enterprise, a lifelong Trek fan, making his podcast debut this season, Stars and Stripes forever. Welcome aboard, Chris Shaggy Vasilas.
Who's got two thumbs and totally honored to be here? This guy. Let's do evolution.
You stole my bit that I stole from Chris before we started. Come on.
Yes.
Well, glad to be original.
Glad to have you with us, Chris. We'll be calling you Shaggy to differentiate you from the other Chris on this podcast.
What other Chris? Worldmind. I only see Worldmind.
We got Worldmind and we got Chris. We got Worldmind and Shaggy. They're both Chris's.
He's Shaggy, of House Vasilas, by the way.
Yes, first of his name, of course.
Actually,
and as mentioned, we're talking Evolution, the first episode of Season 3. It's all about nanites. It's the return of Dr. Crusher. It is the introduction of the new uniforms. This is the 49th episode overall. Directed by Winrick Colby, with a story by Michael Piller and Michael Wagner, and a teleplay by Michael Piller, the great late Michael Piller.
I believe we're talking about the background from Worldmind.
Yeah, there's a
this husky keeps walking around
the house.
Yes,
he's an honorary member of the podcast.
She or he?
Or she, actually.
It's a she, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
She's a part of Cetacean Observations.
Yes, and Ken Jenkins from Scrubs and some other things.
He was also a guest star on Star Trek: The Next Generation as well.
He's in this episode. Long before he did Scrubs, I guess. All right. Well, Jody, how was this episode for you?
I love this episode. The only thing I don't like about it is Wesley. But just his whininess throughout the whole episode is just terrible. But past that, I love the episode. I like even the concept of the fact that like this star is sucking up the atmosphere and whatnot and the debris from the other planet and stuff like that. I thought that was cool too. So
solar matter, yes,
solar matter,
this binary star system.
Yes.
Yeah, and like I guess this whole idea of nanites, these small little machines.
And this is fresh for like 90. What is this?
89. It's 89.
89 still. Yeah.
Shaggy was not even born.
Shaggy wasn't even born. Unbelievable.
Jeff Mater was only like 3 weeks old when this episode came out.
We were talking about little tiny micro machines,
tiny little
of
robots,
the
micro machines,
nano variety. And on top of that, Shaggy then gets conceived eventually, and from there we're good to go.
Right. He missed the
Just
whole
evolved
80s.
from there.
Yes.
We got nanites, and then all of a sudden Shaggy showed up.
Yes. Doctor. So Sam in the comments talking about, of course, Dr. Crusher is in and Pulaski is out, and Pulaski will never be talked about again, never referenced again, never not in just the the Next Generation, but in all of Star Trek across the board. It's quite incredible.
You'd think like Riker would even bring her up at least once.
I'm fairly certain Lower Decks mentioned her at some point.
Did they?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think she gets banished to never referenced again.
I'm gonna find that out right now.
I thank you for your service, Dinah Mulder, and I think she did the best she could with what she was given under the circumstances. And so that's the end of her. But I guess a certain amount of time has passed between the end of season 2 and the beginning here of season 3. At least a few months. And
A summer.
a summer, perhaps. Yeah. Let's go to you next, Chris. A lot of people say this is when Star Trek: The Next Generation season 3 it really gets going, and maybe this is the start of that all. How is this one for you?
I'll be honest, it's been a minute since I've seen it. I was meaning to rewatch it for today, but the day got away from me. From what I remember, it was a good startup. I remember being shocked by Kelso being a special guest star, and I just had this thought, what if this is a prequel to Section 31 movie? What if those like little nanite creatures in Section 31 are actually created by Wesley?
Well, it would be a sequel because Section 31, the movies, takes place before.
But
this.
we've watched Strange New Worlds, and we've learned that time is not cyclical or anything.
The cause and effect, and everything's backwards, and it's all timey-wimey, up and down, and nothing matters. Well, I don't subscribe to that kind of thinking, but that's my old school Star Trek way, I guess. Okay, I want to get to Shaggy. Shaggy, how was the rewatch of this episode for you, and what are your feelings overall?
It was pretty good. Rather like this episode, although I will say Dr. Pulaski leaving and Dr. Crusher coming back, it is what it is. But are
you happy or sad? I saw you giving a thumbs down to Pulaski, so I guess you're pleased.
I love Dr. Pulaski, so her not being
do?
there kind of sucks. So
okay, you're a Pulaski stan. I didn't realize this.
I am.
And I don't think I prefer Crusher, but like Pulaski I think did a good job, and she was a good character while she lasted.
We're sorry that this is going to be Shaggy's last appearance.
Shoot.
Pulaski is a polarizing figure, and so you either love her or hate her. It feels like there's not too many indifferent to her. Hey, Brandon in the comments, he's saying, "What's up? Season 3 premiere. How are you liking seeing Dr. Crusher back?" It was nice, it was great to have her back after a whole season of her feeling absent. She's such a she's just part of Next Generation, and you kind of forget sometimes that she's not there for season 2. Or she's, and sometimes I was thinking about Wesley, right? Because Wesley is not considered to be one of the core 7 of Next Generation, but he almost has like as many episodes as Gates McFadden does, and like he's
the,
pretty
the
much.
core 7 are right there.
Well, I know, but Wesley is considered outside of that, right?
Yeah, that's why he's not in that picture.
Because he kind of gets
Crazy.
fired basically at the in the middle of season 4 or 5, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's 4 when they send him off.
Well,
to
Will
the
Wheaton
academy.
was also doing, movies and stuff as well.
Right, and there was a whole blow up with him and Rick Berman,
Yeah.
midway through, and that's
They all should be nicer to Will Wheaton.
Everybody should be.
Yeah,
Was it his fault?
but like watching this episode tonight, I was like, there are many Wesley episodes still to come, but I'm like, he feels like he's as much of he's like in the main credits. He's a main character.
Yeah, he's the main character for season 2 and for season 3.
And 1 and 2 and 3.
I wouldn't say 1 so much.
And most of I
But
think
he is in
4.
this-
And then he
Yeah.
comes back in 5. I don't remember him being in season 6, but he's definitely there for 7. And so
Yeah.
anyway, like
He was at the
definitely
academy during season 5.
When I was
Right, and that's
first
like with
going
the
through
first-
my TNG watch through, I always swear that like Wesley was going to be the main hero of the show.
yeah.
And then
And
it seemed like he was going to be that way at least for the first 2 to 3 seasons, and then it just kind of fell off. But
yeah, and I think that they're not better off for it. I wish he had been there kind of till the end.
Well,
But-
to be fair, it is disappointing, but at the same time, you do get a very well thought resolution to his story through the Prodigy series. So like,
Well, and then with the episode where he goes off
Eric.
with the Traveler in season 7
Yeah.
of this show, that was set up, previously. Oh, do we lose
No,
Shaggy?
we lost Shaggy.
Oh,
Well, now
back.
he's back.
Welcome back. Anyway,
Transport.
so this is usually the part of the show where we jump in and run through all the screenshots and everything we saw. Let's do it and jump into it, boys. All right. So we start off here with the Enterprise at this binary star system. I think it's a captain's log to start us off.
I believe so,
Correct?
yeah.
And no, it's no log. There's no log to start this off. We just wake up here in Wesley's quarters as he's getting called basically by Commander Riker.
Okay.
Wesley was staying up all night. We see a plate of food, go here on his all-nighters. We see a pad with nanotechnology construction program, lit up here, and Will
Algorithms.
Wheaton sleeping.
he's working on AI, guys.
And you can tell in high def that he definitely is a teenager playing a teenager with all the pimples that they're trying to cover up. with
We
the,
were all there at one point.
We were all there, and I definitely was
Yeah.
myself. So, but in high def, it's definitely a little more noticeable. But Riker's calling up, hey, do you forget to set your alarm? And I guess this is the first shot we have of the new uniforms that will get many modifications. Slightly, they'll become a little bit more loose. This version's a little
Yeah,
tighter.
and Wesley has the collars that are from like the Admiral's things, right?
Yeah, well, Wesley's uniform hasn't changed between season 2 and 3.
I thought it
but
did.
but only basically the main characters like Riker, Worf, and them are wearing this new uniform. All of the other like extras, like the crew in the background, they're all still wearing the old uniform.
Huh, never noticed that.
They're counting on you not to notice it because they're like, who looks at those people anyway, right? So
Well, now I'm going to.
yeah, so Wesley's late for his shift. He has to get up here, but this opening ends up mattering because Wesley was doing an experiment on these nanites, and I guess they got out and they evolved. So that is the premise of the episode. We then go to the bridge again, seeing this binary star system where it's like the white dwarf sucks up all of the solar matter from the red giant, and every 160 years or so, it creates this big explosion, and it's kind of what the character of it's Ken Jenkins playing Paul Stubbs, Dr. Paul Stubbs,
yeah.
who is like an astrophysicist who calls this the galactic equivalent of Old Faithful. The geyser.
Yeah, it goes off like every 400 and something years.
160 years or so.
196.
196 to be precise.
Outside of a human lifetime.
Outside of yeah. And so and he's been waiting his whole life for this. Here, so Wesley comes to the bridge, and I guess Dr. Stubbs meets Wesley for the first time, saying, "Now this is
Why
going to
has
be."
Dr. Stubbs got like an 80s, 90s, like just normal like sport coat on and
The
like
outfit they
this
chose
is
for
the
him.
future.
He looks quite frumpy in this outfit. I
Yeah.
gotta tell you,
It's like they literally went down to the Goodwill and they're like, okay, we got $50. Let's get Jenkins
Like-
an outfit.
the shirt he's wearing looks like one of these standard civilian Star Trek civilian shirts, but like the jacket and the pants, they look so just, I don't know, like he got them from a
Who
dumpster.
knew that corduroy was still something that was available in the future?
Yeah, I don't know, and like the buttons on it, it's interesting choices. We see the star and the conversation here with Wesley, and we get getting a sense of who Stubbs is in the beginning scene here. Is they're talking about we get Captain Picard meeting Dr. Stubbs. He's like, "Hey, are we going to launch this experiment of yours?" He's like, "I've waited my whole life. You may lay the egg, Captain."
Yeah, he talks about the egg.
It's the egg. It's going to cause everything here.
Precious egg.
So the egg, as it will, is in the the shuttle bay here, getting ready to be launched out of the Enterprise. We see the doors opening, and it's getting ready to be sent out. It looks like a big exocomp, really.
It really is. Yeah. That's a good catch, actually.
They haven't set up the exocomps yet. Anyway, so as the probe egg thing is going off into the solar matter, all of a sudden the Enterprise is shook. Everyone's flying around. It's Stubbs goes flying hard.
Poor Bob.
This is why you should always be sitting, I guess, or always having, they can't figure out what's wrong. Geordi LaForge is struggling to get control as they're being pulled into the Red Giant. They're going to get
And Worf is
sucked
doing
in.
nothing useful like normal.
Worf's going, "Look, do something about it. I can't fire phasers at it."
Look over that. Look at what's going on.
Yes, and the Enterprise might be in peril, and that is our.
Though the swirling effect that they have for that.
Yeah, it looks cool. Like, I think that these are some updated special effects. for the
Yeah, I
Blu-ray.
don't think the original run had this.
looked this good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that is our teaser section for the episode. What is going to happen next?
Good teaser though.
Yeah, it's not bad.
We got a couple what ifs going on already.
Want to note Gates back in the credits again. So nice to see that.
Yay.
And we get our title card here, Evolution, as the Enterprise is still in peril. They're trying to get control. Data doesn't have a lot of answers. Geordi doesn't have a lot of answers. Jenkins,
Worf
Stubbs,
says
I mean.
keeps looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah, Stubbs is having a rough time. And I think Geordi's eventually has to do like a manual override just to give a little bit of impulse control so that the ship can reverse. But there's still some momentum pulling them in. So
is it just me that whoever is running the course corrections and everything on the Enterprise, which I guess in this case is whoever the helmsman is right now, which is probably Wesley.
But also
why are they always so damn close to things?
Well, they think they can get away.
Like, we already know that their viewer can do 18,000 zoom, right? So it's like they don't.
Presumably,
need to be
they have to be close enough to launch this egg thing.
As a photographer, Jody, I can say sometimes you can never get too close. You gotta you're framing, but you want to get in there. And even though you have 100 times zoom on the digital artifacting, if you get in there and you're using the 10 times zoom, though, you're gonna get crisp.
This is a starship, not a damn camera.
It is exactly what it is. It is this camera. What are you talking about? That's half of its thing. It's out there to look at thing and take pictures. What do you mean? It's a
Brace for
camera.
impact, everyone. We're about to hit the solar matter.
They don't fly the plane in accordance to how they can frame the view screen. Like, that's not how they do it.
Really? Why do you think they're always in a level plane with every ship when they're in space? They should be like this on every
there's
ship.
a universal agreement to what plane everybody's going to be on.
They've all established
Because
that.
it's all framing. It's framing. They want to make sure
This
their
way is
view
up.
screens are framed
This way
properly.
is up, yeah.
Anyway, so Stubbs is taken off to sick bay after this. Data says our sensors say that nothing happened. There was nothing wrong. There's no log of an error. So Picard puts Data on the job. We then head down to sick bay where we get Dr. Crusher back. Now, the fact
a
that
lot of wounded people for a couple people just getting jolted around.
yeah, I guess so. Now, the fact to me that Stubbs here is on his stomach as they start the scene here in sickbay indicates to me that like this is like when you go to a proctologist. I think like this is the way you would be like layered. And
No, he'd be on his side
Or
in a
maybe
baby,
he's feeling nauseous
baby
because
tucked
he's-
position.
He's got motion sickness now.
right. Well, did something go up there? Is what I'm wondering. In the process, of getting
Probably
thrown
an
up.
alien probe.
Probably
Let's
a
move
probe.
on.
But this is our reunion here of Dr. Crusher and Wesley Crusher on screen as they are tending to Stubbs' butt. Well,
They're
Dr.
tending
Crusher,
to
more
his
specifically.
back. He threw his back out because he threw himself so violently against the carpet.
Right.
Against the carpet. He's got a major rug burn on his knees.
Stubbs also makes some comments here to Wesley about his own mother being a formidable scientist in her own right and having written a bunch of papers and books that Wesley's partly read. But saying that, Stubbs saying, I definitely would not want to work with my mother, despite them both being renowned Federation scientists.
He's not wrong.
So,
Poor
Anyway.
Wesley really does
Working
get the
in a
shaft.
family business, some days are better than others when you work with your mother or father. So I totally
Sure.
get it.
just try
Yeah.
curling with them. So
Yeah.
it's a whole thing.
Try curling with the family themselves.
Yeah. Sometimes we
Just
win
try
championships,
Christmas.
though, Jody. So,
We do win champions, though. Yeah, that's true.
Anyway. So anyway, I'm kind of yada in the scene, and then afterwards, Dr. Crusher, she explains she's been at Starfleet Medical. That's like the in-universe explanation of why she's been gone for the last year. But she's back here, and then the
Look at that
replicator.
walk. She's like, I
That's a
got
walk.
my collective bargaining agreement. Woohoo!
Yeah. She walks over to the replicator, or she calls it a food dispenser, specifically, and she says,
what it does.
what's wrong with the food dispenser?" The computer's like, "Nothing." And he's like, "Well, turn it off because it just keeps replicating more and more juice into this glass or whatever this liquid is."
And this is supply of juice. Sounds good.
Yeah, turn it off. So, get that.
She's actually thinking in the back of her mind, she's like, I came back to this shithole ship. This thing isn't working now. My
Starfleet
fucking
Medical is
son's
like
here.
primo.
He's
Yeah.
probably got something to do with this.
She just wanted some prune juice, and this is what she gets.
She's
weird
like,
drink.
fucking
Something
Worf,
going wrong
always
every
drinking
week.
all the prune juice.
Then we head over to engineering where Geordi's trying to get to the bottom of the malfunctions. He has a quick little conversation here with Picard over the comm where, he says he'll report back once he knows more. Then we get a visit here from Dr. Crusher to Captain Picard in the ready room. And this is really to talk about Wesley. She's like, tell me about my son, who I haven't seen for the last year. Picard says, well, he's his father's son. He's a lot like Jack Crusher Sr. He's honest.
He's dead?
He's dead, yeah. So, but, and watching this scene today, watching this episode, and them talk about Wesley as, Picard being this kind of surrogate father to Wesley, and the fact that we know from Star Trek Picard, spoilers for Star Trek Picard, that Picard and Dr. Crusher did have a son of their own, also named Jack Crusher, that they didn't quite raise him together, but they probably would have been pretty good parents, good at different things, because there's one part where Dr. Crusher says, like, tell me about like what he likes to do for fun and what, when he's not working, and Picard doesn't know anything about this.
He's like, fun, what's that?
what? He's a great
I don't do
officer.
that.
He does his job, and that's what
That's
I
it.
care
Go
about.
talk to Riker. He knows what that's about.
Right. So they're talking about those kinds of things and getting to know him more. But she's feeling a little disconnected, I guess, is kind of the main point of the scene.
Are the badges different in this season too?
Nope. No,
I thought they were more raised or something, but I
don't
can't
think so.
remember.
They look the same to me.
Right.
I'm still trying to figure out what this pleating is on the uniform, like in this particular version that has like. It's hard to see here, but there's these sections. Maybe that's how it was assembled originally. It eventually goes away. Anyway, We then head down to this cargo bay scene where it's Stubbs and Wesley Crusher looking at his egg, his like experiment, you know, and
Egg
everything
so
else.
comp.
This conversation ends up being more about baseball, which Jody loves.
I love baseball.
I know Shaggy does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shaggy actually loves baseball though.
Yeah.
I do.
And this is the first time, I guess, in Star Trek that baseball is referenced. Or, I don't know. Maybe it's not in this scene. Maybe it's in the later scene. There's two scenes in this.
There is definitely a baseball reference though.
I think she actually comes out in the later scene, but I think that actually this scene is more about how Paul Stubbs is doing his experiment. He's been waiting his whole life for it. This is his one chance. I think adding to the guilt of Wesley Crusher potentially having destroyed the Enterprise and Wesley being somewhat aware that the nanites that got out could be the cause of the malfunctions that have been going on.
He doesn't know that yet though, does he?
He suspects it, but he doesn't know for sure. But I think this is to establish.
I know eventually he's scanning 10 forward. And
there was that opening scene on the
finds him.
bridge with Stubbs and Crush and Wesley, right? And then there's this scene, and then they'll come back later on. I think it's to establish that Wesley has some affection for Stubbs. The other thing I do remember too from this scene was that Stubbs is talking about the fact that he is a wonder kid, a German term for like basically a prodigy, and that wunderkind, and that Stubbs and Crusher might be sort of wunderkind together in a sense, kindred spirits, noticing some of those similarities between them.
I would also say that Stubbs reminds me a little bit of Dr. Daystrom. Daystrom was a wonder kid as well.
Wunderkind, yes. Yeah, so I guess these brilliant minds that go off and do the things. And we know that the Traveler referred to Wesley in this way, saying he was kind of like the Mozart, right? Like it's being something like that. Okay, then back up on the bridge. They're getting ready to do... Oh, no. Now I remember the scene. This scene is where are you sure, Mr. Worf? Are you sure? He's like, yes, sir, I'm sure. There's a Borg cube right over there right now. And they're like, that's what the sensors say, right? But then they go to look. They go to, for red alert, and all of a sudden, there's nothing there. And Worf's like, I think I might have got this wrong. The look that
he is Worf.
The look that LeVar Burton gives to Worf here is the best.
It's amazing. I'm like,
he's like,
you are the stupidest dipshit Klingon we have on the ship.
It's just like, did we just go to red alert over a Borg ship?
Actually, what he's actually thinking is, God, do I miss Tasha? God, do I miss her? She was at least a competent security officer. Right.
Well, Picard is annoyed by this whole thing, but he doesn't get too upset at Worf. Says, "You're telling me this is another one of these malfunctions? This is a bunch of BS." Picard's like, we need our computer systems working. Then we see the turbo, the doors on the observation lounge keep opening and closing, and things are going a little crazy. And so Picard orders Jody to go to engineering and try to fix this, and he says, "Worf, go with him." For what?
So if Geordi dies in the turbo lift, they get rid of the other problem. That's the whole point.
In case somebody tries to shoot Geordi on the way to engineering? Is this what the idea is?
No, he's like, you are so useless where you're standing. Go be useful somewhere else.
I think you're right about that. Because it doesn't make sense. Why?
No, there's no sense at all in this.
Why Worf has to go with him.
He's like, make sure Geordi doesn't die. Can you at least do that usefully?
Well, there was that episode we watched in season 2 with the Iconian Gateway, remember? And Geordi was trying to get to the bridge, and it kept throwing him around. So maybe they're worried Geordi's gonna get thrown around the turbo lift again.
This guy just gets thrown around all the time. We have to have somebody to catch him.
Yeah. Anyway, so we then have a transition to the observation lounge where they're having a meeting talking about the whole issues, and all of a sudden, Counselor Troy makes her debut in the episode, as I guess she was dealing with Stubbs on the outside, maybe on the bridge or somewhere else. He wants to talk to you, Captain, and I guess I couldn't keep him out of your office, so here he comes.
He's the main focus of the mission they're currently on.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he need to bug the hell out of everybody to get in there? He should be part of it.
I think that that's probably because Picard was like saying like start like bridge officers only kind of thing, and I get, you often get the idea, not just with Picard, but going back to original series and other shows, that Starfleet captains get annoyed with civilians who overstep and don't take into account the dangers that a starship faces. But there's a bit of a snobbery, involved here. Anyway,
but you're on the starship, so you're going to die anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
But Dr. Stubbs is also kind of a big deal in the Federation. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not an unimportant person either. So
exactly.
I'm
more concerned with these chairs. Like, your posture must be terrible with those pillows.
Well, it was the 80s. They didn't know. So
true.
So they're talking. Dr. Stubbs, he wants to go ahead with everything, right? But Captain Picard, he's a little bit more cautious. He's like saying, like, Stubbs says he's willing to die for this mission, but Picard says, I think most of the crew is not. So I think if we took a vote,
wisdom.
which we're not going to, but if we did, I don't think he would win that vote.
Yeah, probably not.
Anyway, Counselor Troy tries to, I don't know, as Stubbs says, peer into his soul, which he does not like. And he's like, I will share the feelings I want to share out loud. I don't need you reading my vibes here. So that's...
Well, he's not wrong. It's really intrusive.
But the thing they keep telling us about Stubbs is Stubbs puts on this like front, this persona, this overly confident, somewhat arrogant person, but it's kind of not really deep down who he is.
But that's what I like about this character is like he's putting on the show because he's got a lot of pressure on him. And, that's what he's doing right now, right?
If he wants to be taken seriously, he should not dress like he's like about to hitch a ride on a train somewhere or, like looking.
That's
like
true, though, because if you look at that second layer shirt, it doesn't look like it's buttoned in the right order. He does actually look like he's a bit of a hobo running the trail.
Everything about this vibe, like other than, from the neck up, he looks like a normal person, but it's just like everything else is kind of really frumpy. Anyway, so then he
put him in
leaves.
a white coat. That would have been better.
I think you could have done something with the costuming to make him a little bit more, I guess, just seem a little bit more intelligent.
I was always annoyed by this outfit because of the fact that the comm badge isn't like in a good place.
It's on her chest.
Yeah, it still sucks.
You're just here to complain.
I am here to complain today.
Yeah. All right.
Even though I do like this episode.
Anyway, then and after that, we go to engineering where Jordy's trying to get to the bottom of what's happening. He's doing like a real zoom in on certain parts of the computer core, and
where's
Wesley's Worf's guarding the computer, I guess, somewhere.
He couldn't even do this right.
No. And Jordy doesn't quite know what he's looking at here, but Wesley kind of starts to suspect his nanites have caused this. They're eating the computer up. They're basically eating the little bits and bytes like it's candy. We'll find out. So Jordy's trying to figure this out, but Wesley's starting to really feel guilty about all this, and he's starting to get really upset. But he's not telling anybody yet. As he heads back to his lab and he's looking for the nanites and he's scanning for them, but they are not there. And he's like, I think I potentially have ruined the ship. Everything's my fault.
I like how he first looks at the canister, though, like he's going to be able to see them.
Yeah. No.
And then he's like, oh, I better scan it.
Just remember, he woke, this is, I guess, the first time he's back at his lab since Riker woke him up at the start of the episode. So
he grabbed the TV remote and he's like, I got to scan this.
It's like a little TV remote, exactly. Anyway, so then he's looking around the ship. Now the ship's on red alert, so you're supposed to be in your quarters if you're not on duty, right? This was also kind of set up a little earlier. But I guess Wesley's idea was he was going to go around the ship setting little nanite traps, like he's trying to catch ants. Aren't
they in the computer circuitry though? Why the hell would they be walking around 10 forward?
Like whatever, like Wesley's plan here was, and like how many of these traps he was trying to lay.
Plan was to get caught.
And why here in 10-4 specifically? I think maybe he was planning to get caught here by Guinan because that's who he runs into. Whoopi Goldberg is back, everyone, and continuing her relationship with Wesley, which I always like. I forgot about this in the show, but they have quite a few good scenes together.
She's got a good relationship with a lot of people, though. like
Right,
on the
sure.
show.
Yeah.
So I think she's probably one of my favorite characters of the show.
Guidon's great. Yeah, I gotta love
100%
Guidon.
agree.
Yeah. So Wesley
She brings
comes
out interesting things into everybody.
right,
like the dialogue.
and when her first introduction was when that was when Dr. Crusher had just left the show, and she's dealing with Wesley, who's kind of on his own now, and their first conversation, followed up here a year later. So Wesley explains the situation with what he thinks happened with the nanites, and that he might have ruined everything. This is where Guinan compares Wesley to Dr. Frankenstein, who she claims to have known. Are we led to believe
Yeah,
that
there was a real Frankenstein.
in the Star Trek universe, it's not a work of fiction? It's actually there's a Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein.
Or
in this.
she's just lying like she likes to do. She does actually lie a lot.
Well, what can you give me an example of that?
Not the second, no, but I can certainly look some up for you.
Yeah, because I don't know.
Well, she changes the narrative with what she says sometimes, which is not accurate to what's going on. So it's like
that could just be writing.
It could be writing, absolutely.
Anyway,
But writing is the character, so
she convinces Wesley that he needs to come clean. Well, she doesn't have to convince him. He knows he has to tell, and he can't keep this a secret, and so sends him on his way here. And she's like, "Do you think you'll get an A, Wesley? I always get an A. So did Dr. Frankenstein, my very good friend." So she claims. Anyway, then after that, we got Stubbs comes up to the bridge, giving these kind of glances here. I guess they're going to try their next attempt to launch the.
Why does everybody look like they're pissed off at him? Go back to frame.
I think that they're feeling awkward. I think if given they would choose not to proceed with this experiment given the option.
Look at Deanna though. She's like giving him the total stink eye.
Like they're walking on eggshells quite a bit around him, but they're willing to try the second attempt at the experiment because it's every 100 and almost 200 years, right? So, but you don't get many chances. But the doors won't open. Everyone, they can't even launch their little egg. They can't even get it out, and all of a sudden, I think this is when the music starts playing. What's it called? Stars and Stripes Forever. Whatever it goes, and Data starts telling us all about it. But they can't shut it off because
I think this is the first time Picard tells him to shut up too, isn't it?
He doesn't tell him to shut up.
This episode?
He's like, I know what it is because Data starts.
Okay, maybe it isn't this episode.
Shut it off.
I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in the third season though, is when he first tells Data to shut up.
Oh, he definitely does. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in the first season.
Was it in the first season? Oh.
Yeah. So then the power goes, like the lights turn off briefly here, and like because they cut the power to the bridge just so they could get the music to stop. So this is when Picard's like, we need to throw the towel in here. We can't keep going. And Stubbs is like, no, how dare you, Picard? And Jordy's like, I'm going to try to give you warp power, but take it easy. And Stubbs is pissed. So they're just trying to get control of the ship again. But under the circumstances, like, they probably need to leave.
You can also understand Stubbs. Like this is
his big moment.
This is his life, right?
He's been planning his whole life here.
He doesn't get this. He's not getting it again.
Right. He will not make it in his lifetime. He's a human being. This is when they talk about baseball. He says, that Wesley says he was taught to him by his father when he was young. Gives us a little, explanation.
Do you know baseball? Once, centuries ago, it was the beloved national pastime of the Americas, Wesley. Abandoned by a society that prized fast food and faster games. Lost to impatience.
Well, there you go.
Didn't
Lost.
have enough money for health insurance. Sorry.
Fast food and faster games, and they pick one of the slower sports.
Right. Well, that's how it goes. So he's like, I've studied them all in my mind. Don't recreate them on the holodeck like Cisco does. I do it for real in the imagination. But I guess Stubbs is feeling like his life's work is about to go down the drain. And this is when the guilt is really starting to hit Wesley. Wesley's trying to like test for these nanites in his lab. This is when Dr. Crusher comes to talk to him, who is worried that her son is working too hard, burning the midnight oil, if you will. And he's doesn't tell her what's happening right away. She's like, talk to me. You know, let's get, you know, you need to stop working so hard. You need to take a break. You're 17 and etc. And like, you know, whatever. And he's just like, whatever. You don't even know me, Mom. You haven't even been here. So shut up. You know, like I'm an officer. I fly the ship around. Like, what have you been doing for the last year? That's my version of it, at least. You know, and she goes, well, I'm here now, Wesley. Talk to me, son. He's like, well, I think I totally did screw up something up here, Mom. I don't know if he gives all the explanation here about the nanites, but you just see Beverly go, oh, this might be a bigger deal than I thought. More than Wesley just not getting enough sleep or something like that. Anyway, then we get all the exposition up in the observation lounge. The nanites, these small machines. This was like, since this episode, like I guess with the Borg nanoprobes and all of like the other times that nanites and nanotechnology has been referenced in Star Trek since then. But at the time, this was a pretty like kind of new idea, right? Yeah. And still pretty cool to run through, and especially with them talking about it becoming a living, evolved life form. It's replicating and everything else. Stubbs very skeptical of the whole thing, but they demonstrate here that the nanites are eating up the computer material like it's candy, self-replicating, creating new generations, and doing new things. And these are the cause of the disruptions in the system, in the computer core. But then
they got cameras everywhere.
They do have cameras in most places, everything is here. So this is where Stubbs is like, well, whatever. If a mosquito buzzes at your ear, you call an exterminator. We need to, these are screwing with my work. We need to deal with this right now. Like, this doesn't matter. Stubbs very dismissive of it, whereas the rest of the crew's like, this could be a whole new life form to seek out new life and new civilizations. That's the whole idea of Starfleet. And we need to look into this. Stubbs is like, what about my life's work? What about this big boom and everything else? They don't care so much. So they go down to the computer core where they're trying to figure out how to slow down the nanites, not do any real harm to them. They're trying small gamma bursts. I guess it's the first time we see the computer core as a set. I don't know if we ever come back.
I would understand keeping him out of here.
Well, I don't think they expect him to do what he does here. He's like, have you considered a huge gamma burst at them? And Data's just like, well, that would kill them. Like, we can't do that.
Oh,
right?
Wesley's pants drive me crazy every time I see him from behind.
They're not great pants. Anyway, so I guess this is some kind of gamma ray gun that Stubbs has that he's able to shoot at the computer core here, and he basically massacres a good chunk of the nanites in one full swoop here before the crew can even react.
Well, they're self-replicating. They should be fine.
So are we. We're self-replicating too, but if you killed half of our planet, we would notice. So
all right, I'll give you that one.
Anyway, so up in there's Picard is talking to Riker up in his ready room. They're trying to figure out what to do, and all of a sudden, like, hey, do you smell that? Yeah, it smells like smoke or something. They come out on the bridge and like the
why is everybody still sitting there?
It's a smoking section or a non-smoking section, but it's quite toxic and hazardous.
If it's that far gone, why are you still standing around at your posts?
You might have to abandon the bridge potentially.
Yeah.
But Riker is able to push some buttons, and he's able to clear the Enterprise of, or the bridge at least, of whatever toxic fumes they were breathing in moments
That's
ago.
handy.
You might want to go to sickbay though, when you have a chance. But then the lights go out, and we see that now that with the massacre of the nanites, the malfunctions are really starting to pick up here. They bring Stubbs to the bridge where they explain to Picard what he did and that he's under arrest now for genocide. effectively. And
You haven't even established that this is an actual, like, these are actual entities that are, considered life.
They haven't established it, but they suspect it. They have a hypothesis, at least. Anyway, so they're not too impressed with Stubbs. You're confined to quarters until further notice. And Data makes the point here to Stubbs. He's like, the fact that we are now seeing all these malfunctions and this kind of them fighting back is an indication that they are intelligent. And you may have just proven the point by killing them.
He just got kicked off the bridge, and fucking Data's still giving him shit as he's leaving.
Well, Data's sympathetic to the artificial life forms, which would make sense. Which Stubbs has to kind of chew on. Anyway, he's like, I would do it again, Picard. Let me have at her. So then Picard's like, okay, Data, I need a data solution here. I need you to talk to them or something.
Can you talk to your friends that are eating the computer core?
Can you talk to them? Can you talk machine to machine? Down in Stubbs' quarters where he's been confined, Counselor Troy goes to pay him a visit to talk to him about why he did what he did. But it's more really about why are you such a jerk? You're not really a jerk. I can sense your emotions. I peered into your soul even though you didn't want me to.
Why is she doing this?
I think just
right now.
I think that they're just looking for something for Counselor Troy to have to do in this episode. Yeah. So her assignment
is she can follow Worf around.
She can follow Worf and say, "Why don't you do your job better?
Why don't you do your job?
Don't you know what a Borg cube looks like on sensors?" Anyway, but yeah, so I don't know. She's trying to get to the humanity here of Stubbs. Also want to mention this fish tank that Stubbs seems to have in his quarters. You don't often see that in most of the Enterprise's quarters.
Looks like that old screensaver from Windows 98.
It's a Windows 98 screensaver. That's right.
Maybe.
Anyway, so Stubbs is left to ponder this as Data is trying to establish communication with the Universal Translator with the nanites up on the bridge. And while he's doing that, he's dreaming about baseball in his quarters. Thinking about the greats. Thinking about the Washington Nationals, perhaps, Shaggy. Who knows what his team is. Just then, as he's dozing off to sleep, the nanites decide they are going to enact revenge on their version of Hitler, who committed the Holocaust against them. And we see
how could people not think this episode is great? You have literally little tiny micro robots controlling things to try to kill somebody.
Tiny little life forms. They even shine the light right on his face here. Yeah. They're like, there he is, get him, and then they shoot him with electric beams or whatever.
Would have been better. It's like, how many lights did you see?
All of them at once. Some great reactions here.
Look at that frame shot. That is amazing.
So, yeah. Stubbs gets it pretty bad, but this doesn't kill him as the security officer is trying to get in.
This guy was clearly trained by Worf.
It's just Stubbs looking. He's like, "Oh, that will wake you up in the morning, bud." So
help me! I've been zapped.
Right. It's interesting. The nanites don't kill him with this.
Yeah, they're just torturing him because it's funny.
Yeah, it seems like they're
homicidal nanites.
Well, they're not homicidal.
Well, they are though.
They're just masochistic. Trying. They're masochistic. Yeah, maybe attempted murder.
Yeah, that's
anyways, true. So they bring Stubbs to sick bay next, where he's in rough shape here.
At least he's not a belly like he was last time.
No, that's been fixed.
She's like, oh, we scan from this side.
No more proctology.
It's been a while since I've done this.
Yes. Anyway, and then he's like, Picard, you have to protect me. You have to save me from these tiny little life forms. So Picard, I think it's like, okay, well, I guess, my hand's being forced here. My people are starting to, lives are starting to be put at risk. Even if it Stubbs' life, I have a responsibility to protect him. So Picard goes to see Data and Riker, and basically Picard's decision is, okay, we're going to irradiate them. We're going to hit them with the gamma burst, and we're going to put an end to this.
We're going to pull a Cisco.
We're going to pull a Cisco. Yeah, even more so. But just then, they establish communication with the nanites in the form of binary code, 0001 and so forth. Where's a binary when you need one?
Yep. He's got a universal translator.
Like, hey,
Can't
Captain,
do binary. It's garbage.
Exactly. Not hexadecimal. So now that they've established a primitive dialogue, they're starting to talk to them here. They bring Stubbs. Riker's sent to go get Stubbs. Go bring Stubbs here so he can apologize to the nanites and we can put an end to all this. So they bring up Stubbs and they're like, oh, he's very sorry for what he did. But this is where Data comes up with this whole idea of like, why don't I let them take over my brain, my neural net, so we can you can talk to them, right?
That seems like the most logical thing to do. Let's do it.
And Worf is like, we can't let them take control of him. Like, that's not a good idea. And it's like, Worf's right. But
yeah, he knows
for
too
once.
much.
Data says this could be a way to build trust and to help establish a peaceful dialogue.
Could also be a way of making Data into the ultimate killing machine,
right,
which he already has the strength to be able to do.
Right. Data's not an enemy you want.
No, you don't want him going bad. We've seen this before. It's bad.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess technically we haven't seen it yet.
But he says they've said yes. They're happy to take over my brain and do this. So let's go have our little meeting, and we head down here to the computer core again, where Data gets the nanites, put into his skin.
Can't
so
just
they can
plug in a USB cable. We got to do it this way.
We got to do it this way. He's got little pores where the nanites are able to enter, and Brent Spiner I think does a decent job here trying to be the nanites, like trying to be very more robotic and machine-like.
Who would have thought they would be like, "Hey, you need to be more robotic."
He was like, "You are like." It was kind of like in season 2 with the ugly bags of mostly water, where they're saying like, "You're very strange looking." And Picard's like, "Well, we might be, but we've met even weirder looking aliens than us." So
yeah, there's some really big uggos out there.
Yeah, just have you seen that Klingon behind you? Anyway, the Shellyak are coming in next. Anyway, so the nanites through Data are like, oh, we know who you are, Stubbs. We all talk about you around the nanite lunch table, and it's you're.
I think at this point, I don't think Stubbs should be in the room. They probably should also not do this in the computer core.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're able to put it together that it was him, but I guess they have access to the sensor logs and things like they could deduce this. So Picard basically brokers a peace here between them. Said like, there's been mistakes on both sides. Maybe we can let bygones be bygones and move forward here. And the nanites are like, sure.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Good thing they said yes. They're like, no, this.
I would have liked to see no. That would have been way more fun.
Right, and we're not giving Data back. We're
gonna keep this vessel.
So, but the nanites say that they don't even need the help of the Enterprise crew anymore. They've even evolved past that now, but they find the ship too confining. Yeah. So Stubbs is able to use his diplomatic influence to find them like a new home, like a new planet. And the nanites also agree to help them like get this experiment going. Data's been restored, or so we're told. And everything starts to play out here as it was planned originally. We see the egg, as you will, heads over to the star. Stubbs into his work. He gets to, live out his life here and his life's work and his big dream as we get the big
likes
boom.
To stroke his head too.
Yep. So we get the big boom that he's been waiting his whole life, the 200 years almost for this to happen, and all of the data starts coming in. Stubbs he's like so thrilled. He'll be spending the rest of his life analyzing all this.
Yeah.
He can't even talk to Picard. He's so into it. Much like Wesley Crusher, couldn't stop working. Wonderkind. Anyway, so then another transition as we kind of wrap up the episode. Down in 10 forward, we got Guinan and Dr. Crusher sharing their first scene ever. As they've never been on screen before. I guess Dr. Crusher, or maybe Guinan is serving a plate of saltwater taffy to Dr. Crusher for some reason, or whatever those are meant to be in the plate there. Maybe they're just little snacks.
They're grandma's candies.
Just wafers.
Pulaski probably left them there.
This is Pulaski's old Werthers that she left behind.
They live in it first.
They literally look like
before she left.
saltwater taffy or something. I don't know.
Double bubble.
Anyway. Double bubble.
Actually, they're just little small versions of the cubes that they ate on the original Enterprise.
They're the food cubes.
Food cubes. Yeah.
Anyway, so they're talking about Wesley and the Dr. Crusher's trying to get more information on what Wesley's been up to over the last year, how to reach him. They're talking also about Guinan's children. Do you have any children? She's like, oh yeah, I have like many children, and one I could never get to listen to me. It took centuries to get him to come around. He wasn't a listener in a species that is a bunch of listeners. That was a particularly big conflict. So, the fact that Guinan is long-lived. I don't know if it was set up in season 2 that she was so long-lived, but they're really hammering it home in this episode. Just then, Wesley comes in to 10 Forward with a lady friend, meaning with the other kids on the here on the Enterprise.
One of those kids is a very somebody that we've dealt with before.
Very young
Who?
Scott Grimes.
Scott Grimes.
Is he there? Is he present?
Yes,
He's one of the kids.
Oh,
he's
he's the redhead?
Yep.
I assume. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, he
There
was
is.
uncredited in this episode. That'll be in Fun Facts, by the way.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He supposedly
Scott
had
Grimes.
speaking lines, but it was cut.
It was all cut. So, I don't know about those outfits that the kids wear, but that's okay. Wesley's the only one who kind of.
At least you can see them.
You couldn't miss them.
Yeah.
But just then, as Dr. Crusher is happy that her son is socializing and meeting a girl, then she's like, "Tell me everything about her, Guinan. I need to know. Is she okay?" And that is the end of the episode. Dun dun dun. She can't help but be a mom. As we close out.
You can be many things, but if you're a mom, you're always a mom.
Exactly. So that is the episode through screenshots and plot. Just to make sure we didn't cover it all. Jody, would you mind bestowing us with some fun facts?
Some facts of the fun variety.
That
All
would
right. Well,
be,
we can try anyway. Well, let's see if they are. First episode where Chief Engineer Jody LaForge has been promoted to the rank of Lieutenant Commander. In addition, Worf, for some strange reason, has been promoted to full lieutenant from his previous rank of lieutenant junior grade.
Oh yeah, that's right. They were both promoted. Yeah, and so LaForge only spent a year as a lieutenant before becoming a lieutenant commander.
Yeah, he's competent.
Impressive.
There you go. All right, here's one for Dave. The debut of the new two-piece uniform design replaced the one-piece jumpsuit design uniforms used in the first 2 seasons. The entire cast vastly preferred the two-piece design over the previous costumes. Found in the new costumes were much more comfortable and, more importantly to them, easier to deal with when going to the restroom.
Right, because you would have had to have gone unzipped and taken the whole thing off in the old uniform.
Yeah. Additionally, several cast members found the old uniforms so tight and constrictive that their legitimate concern that the old uniforms would cause permanent bone and or joint damage over time due to how they are forced to walk and sit while wearing them.
Right. Picard in particular.
It turned into an HR problem, basically.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't good because they were so tight that they actually pulled you forward.
Yep. So this episode also shows the first appearance of the new opening credits featuring the typical blue nebula. There we go. Don't know why I wasn't saying that one right. That one wasn't coming out. Which the camera enters in the first 2 seasons of the opening credits. The score was altered yet again, becoming the show's final version of the famous Star Trek The Next Generation theme. So there you go. This episode marks the first appearance of one of the computer cars from the Enterprise D. So there you go, Dave. That was the first time. The egg that was the focus of the testing and whatnot. The egg is a reuse of the viral containment unit found in the 1988 episode The Child.
Yeah, it looked like that thing that they were putting all the samples in. So
yeah,
even that set.
It's a reuse. It is revealed that Guinan is a mother. She tells Dr. Crusher she has a lot of children. This also helps to establish how long-lived her species is when she says, "It took several hundred years, but I managed to bring them around." And it says in note Times Arrow 1992, it would be established that she is at least 500 years old. as she's visited Earth in the 19th century.
Right, at least.
We actually see later on in Picard season 2, I guess, because she was in when they went back, right?
Yeah, don't even get me started on that.
Yeah, but anyway, Scott Grimes, who has a minor uncredited role as one of Wesley Crusher's friends, later is a starring role in Seth MacFarlane's satirical Star Trek homage series, The Orville, which we also cover on this channel.
Yes, we've covered every episode here.
Hopefully, stay
Great
tuned
show.
for season 4 when it happens, if it happens.
It's not.
We'll see.
Worldmind says no.
Worldmind says no, but I have
From
hope.
what I've heard, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Anyway, Evolution has parallels with Home Soil 1988, excuse me, in a microscopic life form begins to manifest their sentience and willingfulness to fight for survival. It bears similarities to The Quality of Life from 1992, which likewise deals with AIs developing sentience and showing the will to live. So this was something that they ended up doing a lot in this series. So there you go.
This Scott Grimes, also Steve on American Dad. He wants us to let us know that.
Oh yes, that's right. A new filming model of the Enterprise D was introduced in this episode, which was approximately 4 feet in length. The two models that have previously been used was a 6-foot model, which the effects team found unwieldy and often difficult to shoot, and a 2-foot model, the details of which were not really good for close-up filming.
So this is like an in-between
Yeah.
size, okay.
Yeah, and just a side note to that little tidbit, a 6-foot model would then sit in storage for several years until it was refurbished for the filming of Star Trek Generations, as it was felt that the 4-foot model was not detailed enough for the big screen.
Right, because they had to crash it for that big sequence too.
Yeah, so they literally cleaned it up to crash it. And although the new 2-piece uniform debuts in this episode, several of the backup bridge crew can be found with the old Type A uniforms, notably the red shirt at helm and the security officer at tactical.
It's not just them. It's gonna be like that's gonna be going on for like the next 2 or 3 seasons. You're gonna see most of them not have the updated uniform.
And a side note, Jonathan Frakes, who plays Commander William T. Riker, later directed Ken Jennings, who played Paul Stubbs in this.
Ken Jenkins.
What's that?
Ken Jenkins.
Yeah, Ken Jenkins, who played Dr.
Ken Jennings is like Jeopardy.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Sorry. In the movie Clock Stoppers from 2002. So apparently Jonathan Frakes did that. I didn't know that.
Guilty pleasure movie for me.
I've never seen it.
Oh, man. I like it.
I'll have to give it a try. Though they speak with familiarity, Dr. Crusher and Guinan have never shared a scene together previously, as Crusher left the Enterprise after season 1 and Guinan did not arrive until season 2.
Right.
So there you go. And I think that's about it for
History.
For facts today, Dave. Oh,
Jody,
do you have
are
one?
you going to forget that Sam has wanted us to know the whole time that this was not filmed before the episode we're covering next, season 3, episode 2, was filmed before this one?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't
There you
know
go.
that either.
I got a fun fact from Sam today.
Fun facts from Sam. Thank you,
Fun
Sam.
facts from Sam.
All right. And then, well, this is the part of the show where we jump into our ratings and score the episode. Let's jump into that and throw down a score. Okay. I'll go first. Evolution. This was decent. I give it a 7. Jody?
I was just thinking the same thing. 7.
Worldmind?
I'm gonna give this one an 8.
An 8. And Shaggy?
My first thought was 7 out of 10 myself.
7 out of 10. Okay, well, we are averaging a 7.3. This currently has a 6.5 on IMDb. Unlike when we did Strange New Worlds, it probably has way more than just a couple hundred at this point. Yeah, like almost 4,000. So
I think we can all agree, though, Shades of Grey was definitely a crappier.
This was an improvement on the previous episode, which was Shades of Grey. But
not that that's hard, but
not that that's hard. Exactly. That I don't think we're ever going to get as low as that again. But we'll see.
I don't know.
We'll try.
What is the Federation from Strange New Worlds might be even worse than that episode.
yeah. So Sam says he'd give it a 6.
What is Starfleet? You mean that one?
Ugh.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say half of. This is still better than half of Strange New Worlds season 3.
Yeah. Just looking ahead to next episode, we are doing season 3, episode 2 next, which was filmed before this one. It is titled "The Ensigns of Command." It features the Shellyak, and it's more about Data, really, this episode, while he's trying to evacuate a planet of colonists who don't want to leave. So we're going to get into that one next. Now, for that
Is this
next...
the crystalline entity one?
No.
That happens later. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So
Isn't that
right
the
now
one
we
where
have...
they reused footage of the oil creature. What's the name?
Artemis.
Artemis?
Artemis, sorry.
Artemis.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that killed Tasha?
I don't think it's a reuse. I don't believe.
If I recall, they reused some footage of Artemis for
The
crystal,
Shellyak?
like the Shellyak there. Yeah.
I can find out.
Well, hey, save it for that podcast, everyone. You're going to have to tune in.
I don't think I'm on it.
Well, actually, so I was about to talk about that. So we have Heather and Worldmind signed up right now to be on that podcast. So we're looking for a couple
I'll remember
more
this
panels.
time.
So, yeah. So tune in next Thursday. We'll be talking about that.
I already
Dan?
have the answer, but I won't say
All
it.
right. You got to tune in to find out, everyone. You can't tell you that all now.
Find out next week.
Find out next week. Come back for the next episode.
Same Dave time, same Dame channel.
Exactly. Okay. Well,
What else do we got going on, though, Dave?
Well, we just wrapped up Strange New Worlds season 3. So most recently the finale, which was called New Life and New Civilizations. Shaggy, did you watch the most recent season?
I have watched the most recent season. I unfortunately haven't watched the last episode yet, so I have that on my to-do list to do.
Okay, well, so I won't spoil that for you.
It's better than half of the episodes from that season.
I've been basically calling this past season the Real Housewives of Starfleet.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, that's a good one. So check out our Strange New Worlds coverage. We did every episode there. A couple of weeks ago, we did our episode of Trivial Debates, Star Trek Next Generation themed. We had Sean Farrick from Trek Culture. We had Heather and myself competing from our channel with Jody hosting. And tune in to find out how that all went down. We are also covering a show called For All Mankind right now. We have been going through every episode of that show, and we have gotten up to season 3, episode 4, which we'll be covering on Monday. It's called Happy Valley, as that team is heading to Mars. So, well, not just that team, but many teams, as the race to Mars continues. So check out our coverage of that if you have not already. And I think that's all the plugs. Chris, Worldmind, was there anything I'm forgetting?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I mean, like you said, we did Star Trek for Trivial Debates recently, which was a fun episode. I mean, October's coming up, so it might be trick-or-treating. I've got to figure that one out. I might just... Because normally, I got to figure that one out. So it's either going to be a Halloween themed next episode or something will get thrown my way. Otherwise, yeah, that's about it.
Shaggy, anything going on in your world that you wanted to mention?
No, Doug, got a ton going on. Just taking it day by day, working real hard.
All right. Well, thanks for
hopefully
being with
you'll be
us.
back.
Hopefully we'll have you back once again with us. And just to address the comments before we sign off here tonight, Sam's asking, are we ready for Survivor season 49 starting next Wednesday? And yes, we are ready. We just started our draft, Sam.
As ready as I've always been for Survivor.
Yeah, so I'll be back next Wednesday. I'll be on with Jeff Mader, Jaemeel Robinson, Becky Robinson, Jason McGray, and others. So check that out. All right. And moving on here, we'll leave you with a quote for the end of the episode, and we'll see you next time here on Live Long and Podcast. In honor of our American guest, Shaggy, here we go.
Repeating sequence. What in heaven's name? What? It is Stars and Stripes Forever, sir, by John Philip Sousa, an American composer of band music in the early 20th century. Yes, I know that. Computer, shut off the music.
See you next time, everyone.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And movie reviews with Hold Up, a movie podcast. And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.